Okay, so part 3 of how I became an IBCLC specializing in multiples. So besides all the work that I do, the hands-on work with families of multiples, I also just pay real particular attention to all the challenges that families of multiples are likely to face and do lots of research, trainings, reading, all sorts of education to make sure that I am up on the most common challenges and make sure I have tons of tools in my toolbox to help them. So a lot of times this has to do with babies being preterm. Most twins and triplets are born 37 weeks or well before. So we have a lot to work with babies who are preterm. A lot of times they're not super strong at the breast or chest. So therefore we have to figure out a way to give stimulation from another angle, which is usually the pump, in order to bring in that nice, healthy, full supply so that when the babies are a bit bigger, that you have enough milk to work with. Sometimes I have parents in the NICU, so like I mentioned before, we're kind of establishing a supply using a pump a lot of times, and then we're transitioning to the breast or chest, and so that's got its own challenges. A lot of the parents that I work with, not all, but a good portion, end up having multiples because of fertility treatments, and having infertility is actually a risk factor for breastfeeding, and that's something I didn't know before I ended up going through infertility treatments. A lot of times a hormonal imbalance or an endocrine disorder or something that's going on with our hormones within ourselves makes it difficult to get pregnant. And it's the same type of system, not always exactly the same, but it can be related to problems with normal breastfeeding and normal supply. So we look a lot at what kind of health issues might be contributing to that low supply, if there's anything we could do to fix them. And then sometimes it's just figuring out how we can work formula into the mix while still breastfeeding enough to meet the family's goals. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with whatever it is that's going to make them happy and feel like they're doing a great job as a parent. Whatever those markers are for them, I want to help them get to that point. Okay, so all of those things kind of lead me to becoming this. I'm an IBCLC, but I really focus mostly on multiples. I feel like if I had had someone way back then, I had our NICU nurse and she was awesome, but if I had had an IBCLC that had also nursed 2 sets of twins and knew what it was like to walk through that situation, I feel like it would have been super validating and helpful. And so my mission is to become that for the families that I work with. Okay, so super long story, but that's how we became a multiples IBCLC.